Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your host Edward McQueen and April Garner Davis.
That's it. It's the voting time. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to WCM Live today, Tuesday, June 9th. Hope everybody knows that this was a voting day. And if there's any turnout like it was a few weeks ago, the Democratic Party should be riding high. Right, April?
Yeah, obviously the Democratic Party is showing off all across the state, and that's a wonderful thing. And yes, the primaries ended tonight at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So we hope that everyone took advantage of
Absolutely.
early voting and voting in the primaries.
In addition to that, April, I got to introduce myself to the new people who are joining us. I don't know, and also introduce you, which I failed to do, but I'm doing it now. How's that?
That's fine.
That's fine. Okay, it clipped up sometimes. But it's good evening to everybody, and welcome to welcome to WCM Live, and we I guess we wanted to just get on there and talk about the new wave that's happening based on the turnout. Everybody, especially the Democratic Party, is enthusiastic about the big turnout that happened, and they're going to be riding the wave for a while. And why can't they just keep the momentum up? I guess. So, April, without any further ado, let's get our guests on, if we could, of the Democratic Party members, and I'll just let them introduce themselves. How's that?
That's fine. And before we do, first of all, we'd like to thank all of our guests who are watching tonight, especially Verdell Beckman from Columbia, South Carolina. She's always the first in the room. Thank you, Verdell.
She's the first. She's the first.
Yes. We appreciate you watching tonight. And will you please, if you are watching tonight, share this broadcast across social media, grab a link from YouTube, and you can text the link from YouTube out to all of your friends and family so that they can get in on all of this wonderful information that we bring to you each and every week. And of course, this week we have special guests from the Horry County Democratic Party. As we mentioned at the opening of the show, the primaries ended at 7 p.m. And this has been one of the most intriguing, exciting, frustrating, you name it, every word that comes to mind to describe the election process this year. And it's not over. The primaries determine what happens in terms of the general election. We don't know if there's going to be a runoff. I guess that'll be determined this evening. But we do have some people here who are speaking on behalf of their party to talk about all of the things that you need to know. We're going to talk about the strong voter turnout from the past week of early voting. We're going to talk about the importance of voting in Democratic and Republican primaries. And of course, with the Horry County Democratic Party members being here tonight, they're going to talk about the importance of Democrats voting in the primaries. They're also going to cover voting in any runoff, who can vote and why. And then also talk about the importance of your precinct organization, community gatherings, clubs, all the things to get you ready for the November general election. So we are going to now welcome, I think that I can see them in the backstage. They're probably trying to get election results. They're still scrambling around a little bit. But, Brother Edward, one thing that we want our viewing audience to always understand, we're in the business of educating people. And this is, of course, the civic duty that I think trumps all civic duties is, making sure that you participate in voting. WCM Live has always positioned itself as being a nonpartisan platform, which means the same way the Horry County Democratic Party is joining us tonight, we would have welcomed the Republican Party to come in and talk to us about their platforms and their candidates, because everybody needs to know about everybody who's running. It's always an open invitation, but we always seem to get the Horry County Democratic Party in terms of being our special guests, and we really appreciate them coming out to do their part to educate the community on the voting process. So With all that being said, we'd like to welcome now members of the Horry County Democratic Party. How are you all? Look at Miss Shirley. She is still working hard. Miss Doris, and of course, Cedric Blain-Spain. How are you all this evening?
They're counting votes, April.
No, that's not, Brother Edward. They have nothing to do with counting the votes.
Good evening.
Look, you would think they had nothing to do with that.
First, I put that out there, Brother Edward. How are you all this evening?
We are quite excited.
Good,
Yes.
that's great. Good.
Yes.
Good.
There is a tremendous amount of excitement in the air. And before we get started with everything, why don't we kind of do a little round table with the three of you? And if you will, introduce yourselves, and then we can get on with our discussion.
Thank you. I'm Shirley Vaught. I'm chair of the Horry County Democratic Party.
I'm Doris J. Potter Hickman, State Executive Committee woman.
Cedric Blain-Spain, State Executive Committee man for the Horry County Democratic Party. It's an honor to be on your show this evening.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Brother Edward, would you like to begin?
Oh no, you can go ahead. You just go ahead.
Okay. Well, let's tag on to the excitement that Ms. Doris was talking about.
Yeah.
Your hat is very exciting, Ms. Doris.
This is the lady in blue.
I love it. I love it. And she's coming with the fireworks, I'm sure. So, Ms. Doris and Cedric and Shirley, thank you for being with us tonight. Tell us why this is such an exciting time. Why is this election so different from the ones we've had in the past few years?
Several reasons. One is we have filled all 124 state legislative seats in South Carolina. We have a candidate in every one. We have candidates running for all constitutional offices. So we're pretty excited, and the possibility of a runoff in at least two of those offices. That's pretty exciting for the Democrats. It's been a while since we've had that. So there's a lot of excitement about being able to vote and to having candidates on the ballot that they may not have had before. Either one of you want to make a comment on that?
We really are excited because our early voting numbers were so high. I think we've set a record for our state and our county, and we are looking for greater numbers after the count tonight. So we are really excited because people are just getting out and they're talking to their neighbors, and they're encouraging their young children. We have so many third generation voting, and that hasn't happened recently in the South or near us anytime. So when you have a grandparent, you have a mother, and you have a daughter or a son voting for the first time, that is exciting news for us.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who participated in that early voting from May 26th until the June 5th, because a strong voter turnout is the foundation of a healthy democracy and a healthy political party. And we appreciate every voter who took the time to make their voice heard. That enthusiasm shown during that first week of early voting demonstrates the importance of civic engagement and community participation. So I'm looking at the numbers in Horry County. We had a total of Democratic voters, 8,142, and Republicans, we're going to share the excitements with them, is 12,026, which is a total of 20,000 people voted in early voting, which is pretty exciting.
In Horry.
In Horry County, not the state. That's just
right. Ms. Shirley, how does that number compare to voting in the past?
1 second on that. I have some of that right here. I have the numbers I'm quoting here are not Horry County. These are states. In 24 in the state, there was 120,000 in early voting, and in 22 there was 100,450.
And we're 180. What was the total now?
Our total for the for early voting
is 300.
320,584 that first early voting week. So yeah, we
We doubled that number. So
Yeah.
that's tell the people that people are concerned about the prices at the gas pump, the prices of eggs, and what's going on with redistricting certainly help boost those numbers, because it was good to see people that was enthused and understanding what gerrymandering, cracking, and packing was, so that helped to excel our numbers. And all the work that all of you have been doing behind the scenes. But I want to say too, and I know you got to go on to the next question, thank for the leadership in the South Carolina Democratic Party, who parents are natives of Horry County, the Honorable Crystal Spain for her hard work, along with the South Carolina Democratic Party that calls us to have 124 candidates, along with Jamie Harrison and the Dirtwood PAC and Congressman Clyburn, his work, that we have all those candidates and all the constitutional candidates. And Crystal Spain's parents is Linwood Spain and Melvina Dunlap Spain from right here in Horry County. So this is part of her native soul. So Horry County played a part into the leadership that calls us to have so many candidates on the ballot, that people can see that the Democratic Party is alive and well, that we are thriving. We're concerned about the people, to have all ballot spaces filled with candidates that's on every election going into November.
That seems unprecedented, because it seems like it's always been a struggle in the past few years to actually get, or how should I say, to attract, candidates, or, anyone to, with an interest in running. Right. And so you actually answered my question. You must have been reading my mind. I wanted to know what you all believe were the catalysts for people stepping up to run for office. So, this is it is unprecedented. And, as we go into, the next phase of this, what do you want people to know primarily about this momentum? Because I think that people believe sometimes that, okay, the primaries are over, I don't have to do anything. Or, if they didn't vote in the primaries, I'm just going to wait till the general election. What do people really need to understand about the voting process and where it all really begins? It begins with the primaries.
Right. It begins with the primary, and as Shirley said, did I cut you off? I didn't mean to do that.
No, go ahead.
It began with the primary, like you said, and then what we need to be braced for, there's a possibility we're going to have to come back in 2 weeks for a runoff, because South Carolina has the 50+1. And if you don't, we were so glad when they ended, but unfortunately, we still dealing with not just a simple majority, but the 50+1. If no candidate prevails with 50+1 or concede tonight, then we're going to have to come back in 2 weeks with a runoff. Let's just hope that the numbers are so that even if with less than a 50+1% of the vote, that the other candidate would say, it's no need to drag it out to a runoff, I'll concede the election and everything. That would only be if the candidate and their campaign chooses. So the momentum need to be, even if we don't have a runoff in 2 weeks, the work begin now, because these candidates got to win in November. So the work, and usually is after Labor Day, but we can't wait after Labor Day, because unfortunately we in midterms, but we are also in the 2028 presidential election. And that means we need volunteers, we need people phone banking, we need people canvassing. And now with the ability to do this virtually, you can do virtual phone banking and virtual canvas, going door to door. And that means doing it electronically online. You can still do it in person. So we need that momentum built, because we got to get past November. We got to win in November. So we need all hands on deck. We need the thousands of voters in Horry County that are unregistered vote. We need them registered.
So
Cedric, speaking of unregistered voters, do you all have a strategy for how you're going to get those voters, or those potential voters, registered?
You just took my question away.
I did.
That was next.
We have a program in the state called Democracy Builders. Democracy Builders is basically taking the place of precinct organization, because we no longer where you have to organize the precincts fully, like with the president and all. So Democracy Builders is give everyone, and we need people to sign up. Go to scdp.org and sign up to be a Democracy Builder. It has taken the place of precinct captains and all of that, where you would get a dedicated list of about 50, 60 people in your precincts. Now, then those individuals are working to registered voters, because we kind of get an idea, the footprint where unregistered voters are at in each county based upon the DMV records and all of that. And we need to, this is a good time to segue. In 2024, Mother Mary Moore hosted a voter registration drive in her community. And the Democratic Party went out, set up our tent to assist her with that. So we need people to host voter registration drives in your community. Mother Moore did it. She registered a neighbor that was never registered to vote in his life. First time voting for Kamala Harris. So this is how we're going to do that number. And will y'all be surprised that we have over 8,000 unregistered voters that are likely Democrats in Horry County, and over 100,000 in the congressional district? And we talking about we well over about 500,000 across the state.
But this is the opportunity where our Democratic clubs can fill in that voter registration drives, and I call them gatherings. It doesn't have to be your neighbors that are meeting, but it can be all the friends that you know that you have, or maybe that you've met through the Democracy Builders program. Because the lady was here today talking about she went out canvassing her neighborhood through the Democracy Builders program and met people she didn't know were Democrats.
And one of the key components of democracy is to make sure you yourself, make sure your family, all of your family members are registered to vote, and then all of their friends, and then their friends, and it's a cycle. And then you come back and you get your collective numbers, and that way you know if you made any progress for those persons who were unregistered.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed to me like the strategy, you should be aware anyway of the two different segments of people who are acquainted with technology. One, at a certain age group start, they may circumvent computer usage. Okay, so how you dealing with that?
That's and we had it later on, but I guess it's a good time to announce that we have in the fall coming up, we have several stump and Democratic gatherings where we're going to be registering voters around the county. We're going all over the county with events because the candidates that will prevail through tonight on the November, they're going to be coming back to the community. We're going to be using those stump meetings and Democratic gatherings and small events to help register voters and get the word out. And also now we know, like you said, those that are not tech savvy will be on site with computers, with tablets, with voter registration forms to assist those that are not tech savvy with the ability to vote. But for everyone else, you'll be able to go on a QR code or online to scvotes.org, or you can go through our website, horrydemocrats.org, and register to vote.
And according to our statistic, the 60 plus is the highest group that's voting. The 60 plus is the highest group.
Well, now what does that tell you? That means that you got to pinpoint or put your focus on those that are less than 60, and you got to make sure that they're.
That's it, and get our younger voters out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. So there was a lot of enthusiasm there, and so do you all are you kind of like making based on the momentum that's going on? I'm going to call it momentum from the Democratic Party. Do you and at the same time, are you kind of like recruiting new members for the party itself, and not just for this current voting session, but you also have members people who are just bona fide members, right, of the Horry County Democratic Party.
Yes. I don't make it to every club because in Horry County we have, oh goodness, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have about 6 groups that meet on a regular basis every month. So I as chair, I can't quite get around to all of them. But what I've seen is we have new people coming in. We have new people who want to be involved,
Right.
involved in either helping with, I don't want to say turn out the vote, but we have people who are, they want to see how they can be involved. They may not want to come into the office and volunteer every day. They may only want to volunteer for certain things, or, but also they want to be a part of what's creating it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether they want to say they want to be a part of the Democratic Party or not, it's they want to be a part of what's going on. And frequently those are the people who stay with you after the election process is over with, because they see what a difference it makes. They see what a difference it makes in the lives of people who become involved and who believe, and I'm going to use the word, they believe and hope. They believe that it's going to be better.
So are you all observing, or are you taking any particular focus on the new people who are flooding Horry County, which is supposed to be one of the fastest growing counties?
Oh yeah.
So are you observing not the strategy you're using to get them, but any particular focus on that? Are there any records indicating those are the ones that some are Democrats and who the Republic that have come there already?
We're winning some, but what we're seeing with our clubs run autonomy of the Democratic Party. These are individual clubs that different ones put on through the county, but we are seeing at these clubs, and we just talked about it. Someone talked about it the other day at one of the club meetings. There were a lot of new people in the club. Yes. So what we've been finding out through the years, and how can we tap into the transplants and the ones moving into the county, because a lot of them that move in, they tend to vote Republican. And that's the thing. They're Democrat, coming from Democratic states, are using Democratic pensions, but once they are free from their employment and retired, they'll move here to Horry County. But we are finding some of the clubs are doing a good job and working on with them to tap into the newcomers into the county, that's bringing them over and listening to them. But I can tell you a lot of them are very independent, but they tend to vote Democrat. It's like this new wave of people moving into Horry County seem to be more Democratic leaning, because they're tired of it, of things that are going on again. Their pockets are hurt, gas prices, grocery prices, child care. A lot of them that are moving in here are taking care of their grandchildren. So the policies of the Democratic Party is what's drawing them to us, and that we're meeting the needs of the everyday people. So we see a growth in the party with that, but we just we need more people to help us tap into how can we hone in to get more of the transplants that are coming in to Horry County into the party. It's still that knack, because they have their own philosophy and ideology.
Mm-hmm. We have a few questions from some of our viewers, and let's start with Tiffany Andrews, no stranger to Horry County. What are your proposed plans to synergize young voters?
That has been hard, because we just lost our second vice chair because of the scheduling. We know one thing, when young people come aboard, they find out it's not paid positions. We don't get paid. This is volunteer work, and scheduling has been a problem with us, because a lot of times most of the people are retired. The young people can't come out during the daytime, and even scheduling in the evening is a problem, because with employment with some of them, they're working 2 jobs, and if not 3, and they keep telling us, listen, I can't come to a 10 o'clock meeting. I can't come. Okay, can we move the meeting to 6? So we've been trying to work with our Democrats, our young Democrats that have been elected, but it's just a part of making that time-wise with them. So we need to do a better job with reaching out to them. But let me say, it takes listen, I can tell you, because I've been young and I've been doing this even young, and even while working, it has to be a commitment on both parts and everything. And when you're bringing in young people and you want to work with them, we ask them about how to reach out to more young people. They give us ideas, but when you turn around to look for them, it's like, well, I got to go to work. I got other things to do. It has to be a commitment on both parts, but we could do a better job with reaching young people, and we need to do that. And that's why we say to the masses, listen, we need people. We need you. We don't know it all. We don't have the ability to reach all, and we're doing the best we can, and we can probably do more, but we need the masses, because people will sit back and throw daggers at the Democratic Party, but we never see them at events. We never see them getting involved. And we need people to get involved. We need everyone. If you're a Democrat or Democratic leaning, hey, jump in. Our doors swing on welcome hinges, and we need young people.
And we are finding too that many of the young people are going to evening classes for their college degrees, and it takes a balance in there because with the child care and no jobs, they have to have a job to get money to pay. Some of them have children, so it's pretty much a balancing act for them, and it's going to take some compassion and consideration to work out plans to be able to meet the needs of the young people.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to use a word that I will say a community icon uses with me sometime. I'm going to pinch y'all a little bit about the young people, and on two fronts. One, what exactly is the definition of a young voter? Because you all made mention that I think a good bit of the voting population this time was what, 60 plus? Did y'all say that earlier? All right. So what is your definition of a young voter? Is it like a first time voter, 18 to a certain age range? What's a young voter in your terms?
18 to 36 is what our young Democrats and
18 to 36.
Yes.
18 to 36. So let's talk about that 18 to 36 for just a second. And Verdell Beckman has a question that kind of leans into this. Do you think that the system is failing our young people, and are they discouraged? Because you've seen a lot in terms of voter apathy, and just the fact that that age group is not showing up. And Cedric has mentioned a myriad of reasons why, but we all know that people do what they want to do, and they make time for what they want to make time for. So what do you believe that a lot of it has to do with maybe just their lack of faith in the voting process, the political system, government, and they're not showing up for that reason? If so, how can you, as the Horry County Democratic Party, change their minds about the process and even just how they feel about government? Or do you believe that it has to do with the fact that they don't see themselves as the candidates? What do you believe is happening? Because they do seem discouraged or frustrated, or a lot of young voters feel like their vote does not count or it doesn't matter. So how do we get over that hump?
Well, let me say the party is designed for 18, 13, 36-year-olds because the third vice chair have to be someone 18 to 36. They can be 18 to 36 as the chair, first vice and second vice, but the third vice chair must be. We can't even get around that. And it's a part of bringing young people in. We have to do a better job of listening. And you just said it, because I can tell you the last few months with some of the young people that's been on board here, they're frustrated, the apathy, and then they say, them people are going to do what they want to do and everything. They're frustrated with the process. They don't feel like their voices are being heard. And then their ideology of what's going on, like some of them say, can't we just forget about the political party and just everybody work together? Unfortunately, we want to do that. We wish we could. We went before now, we did it here, even in Horry County, and you try to explain to the young people, listen, unfortunately, you with the Democratic Party. I'm not saying you can't work across party lines and everything. We need to do it when we're trying to win others. But that's their thing is, I'm tired of all this. I'm tired of all the partisan politics. I'm tired of the daggers at each other. People just want to eat. I just want to go to school. I want to know who's going to help me pay my bills and all of that. And they don't see things working as fast as they think they ought to see it. Then it brings a lot of frustration. And then we have to do a better job. Again, I'll say listening and then finding a common ground. But I don't know how much more we can do because it's designed for them.
On state level, you talk about state level where he's going to each county, getting young people. We have a third chair on the state level, and his sole responsibility is to work with the young people. And we have 46 counties, and he is going around, which would follow to Horry County and any other county. He is going around getting young people to sit on committees and work with young people on those committees in the 46 counties. And each one of those persons that he is training will have the opportunity to work within the party of their district. Mm-hmm. That's going on now, and he's doing quite a good job with that.
Yeah, that's Dr. Ralph Prelow, who's the dean at the College of Charleston, who is a young Democrat between 18 to 36. And he's found it, and we have to encourage him, being a young Democrat, being the third vice chair for South Carolina Democratic Party, because in one of our last meetings of 46 counties, he only had 18 young Democrats working, that was actually working out of 46 counties. And he's been frustrated too, Brother McQueen and Sister April, with getting young people to commit to working that and being on the task force. Because again, we said even here, we got to find a way that we can put some money into with the young people, because they don't have the money for the gas. Like we have to pay for our own gas. And if they go into class and go into work, they're like, I can't come out there. I don't have no gas to keep running for the party. So then it's on our part too. That's why we need all hands on deck to get it. All right.
So this young man that you all are speaking of, who's doing that work across all of the 46 counties, has he shared with you what some of the best talking points are for 18 to 36-year-olds to get them more involved in the voting process? Like, what are some of the things that he shared with you they're doing? Because it would be interesting to understand what the language is and the messaging is all about. And then hopefully within that messaging, if it's not working or doesn't seem to be as impactful, there may be some people like, Bevelyn Mitchell, she wrote, I want to volunteer. We may be able to find a base of people who are like, let's figure out how to, fine tune the messages for our 18 to 36-year-olds. And Monet Bazant, thank you for watching tonight. She says, I'm still a younger voter at 46 and I work the polls today. So Monet would be someone that we would talk to find out what motivated her, to get involved in the process. So has this, I'm sorry, Cedric, say his name again?
Dr. Ralph Prelow.
Dr. Ralph Prelow. Yeah, has he shared with you like some of the messaging to the 18 to 36-year-olds?
They shared a little bit, but what they're still doing with their task force, they're supposed to come back to us in the fall with their surveys and what they did. So they're actually building that language now, so we can be able to do a better job with getting voters out in the fall of the year. So we'll hear from it. We don't have an in-depth study from them, but we get it. I would love for you to even bring him on one night.
Yeah, and that would be great.
Yeah, but we don't have it, but we'll have it in the fall of the year, because they actually got the task force is working now on that, the talking points and things we need at the county level to build a strong young people coalition.
And we did have
right. Miss Shirley, do you know which of the 46 counties are like outperforming other counties? Do you all have that information as well, or even underperforming? Do you all know where the work needs to be done in big?
Well, actually, our larger counties did. Let me say, all the counties did great, and everything. Our numbers looked a little weak because of the growth here, and it made us. But let me tell you, we did good compared to other years where we only had about 3,000 early voters and everything, but we had 8,000 this year. So the smaller counties, I'm gonna tell you, even the smaller counties around the state did good for early voting. But and then when it comes to reaching out to young people, let me tell you, Marion County is doing a phenomenal job.
Yes. Well, that's wonderful for Marion County. Yeah.
Yeah, Florence County, Marion County, Greenville. If we were at the convention last weekend, Greenville and Charleston County actually had toddlers at the convention. They were on program, performing and everything. So we have to take a note from right across the water, our sister county, Marion County, because they have been holding youth forums and everything, driving up the youth. They still they don't understand politics the way we do, and they think it should work a different way. And that's been a little frustrating, I think, with them. But listen, we have to go over to Marion County and say, listen, y'all doing it. Y'all pulling out the young people. Charleston County, Florence County, they pulling out the young people. We need some of that over here.
And they're involved as officers in the county party. That's part of it. It's not just being involved and getting them in they're actually working within the party itself.
And we like to say to you from the past, working with young people, they don't really like to abide by principles and policies. They want to go ahead and do it. But there are guidelines that you have to go through because you have to stay within the legal confinements of operating a party. But
that's what your task. That's the task that you all have to.
That's what we try to communicate and teach. But what I'm saying to you, sometimes it takes longer to do it. You come up with an idea or a goal, and they want to do it that day. And you have to work on what you are presenting and have your research to back it up and be within the legal confinements of what you're trying to do. And with our policy man right here, a book like this with policies and procedures, sometimes they just don't want to go by that. And that takes learning experience, putting them on committees so they can understand what it takes, not just instant gratification. You know, we in a computer era where you click, and you do, and but that's not how it operates within a party. You can't click on this and you have this instantly. You have to work on the ideas and refine them and have people to implement them and not just say, we're going to have this and then have it the next day. Do you understand what I'm trying to communicate? Instant gratification is a key component of some of our young people.
Right. And it sounds like, what you're trying to convey is that working within the Horry County Democratic Party, there are guidelines that you have to follow if you are working within the confines of that organized group, right? Yeah. So I think one thing that we can, definitely take from what you're saying is that it sounds like you have a base of young people who are willing, and even if they aren't all about following the policies and the structure of being a part of your organization, we can still encourage them to get out and ignite people to vote. And so we have to figure out how to bridge the gap and also how to kind of, create the synergy between the ones who want to ignite the voters, but don't necessarily want to follow the rules and the structure of the party organization, and then getting them, across that bridge to being a part of the organization at some point. Because, everything that you all have just described tells me that if the young people are expressing their opinions about the things that they don't like about government, they're the people who are going to be the change agents to make things happen the way that they should happen, to evolve politics into what it really needs to be. And so, we can't discourage them from how they move. And I agree with you, Ms. Doris, we have to teach them about, what organized politics and campaigning looks like. And yet we also have to figure out how to balance it all so that everybody's doing their part and create, but it all funnels into one place eventually, which is voters at the polls. So, I get it.
Thank you. You understood what I said. Thank you.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. But conversely, I think we can also learn from the young people. We have to have them to teach us something.
Yes,
I'm going to say us.
Yeah.
Okay. And that they're in a technology that's moving faster than we can imagine. Okay. Faster than the age group I'm looking at now. You're talking about 60s or over. Okay. So I think that's the most profound thing I think that needs to be addressed to me right now, because these as fast as technology is moving, you have some young people who can't keep up. Okay, so moving so fast, but they're keeping up enough to survive. But the people who haven't been delving into technology at all, I mean, they're just giving up. Okay, I mean, and they're becoming frustrated.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Right. And we definitely want to alleviate that frustration. So let's we have, a list of great talking points that we want to be sure to get to tonight. First of all, voting in any runoff. That was one of the talking points that we wanted to address tonight. Who can vote? So Ms. Shirley said a few minutes ago that there's anticipation that there will be runoffs in at least 2 races. What do people need to know about the runoff?
There are at least 2 races where there were 3 candidates, so the possibilities there we would have 2 runoffs on those 2 cases.
Okay.
The governor's race and
U.S.
U.S. Senate race. Each one of those had 3 candidates in it, so there's a possibility we could have 2 runoffs. If you voted in the Democratic, if you voted today or in the early voting in the Democratic primary, you can vote in the runoff if there is one. If you voted in the Republican primary in the early voting or today, you would not be able to vote in the Democratic Party runoff. If you did not vote at all in early voting or today, you can vote in a Democratic or a Republican runoff for either party. It works that way. So we don't want people to be surprised. It's like today, some people thought they were supposed to go back and vote again today because they didn't quite understand that in the early voting, today they've already voted. You can't go back and vote the second time. They were not intending to go back and vote the second time. They just thought that this was a different.
And that's an education component.
That's an education. And that's,
it is. Mm-hmm.
The other thing we need to work on in the Democratic Party is because people who did not have any opposition in the Democratic primary, they are a candidate, but we won't vote for them until November. And some people just don't understand that. Why are we voting for them? Because they didn't have an opponent running against them in the Democratic primary. They will have in November, they will have a Republican, opponent. So I don't think people understood. There's something else in South Carolina that we don't do a real good job, or South Carolina doesn't do it, and the Democratic Party, I don't think. People who are moving into our county, and Horry County has a lot of people moving in, who come from states where they have to be a registered Democrat or Republican. So for some reason, they think when they register to vote that they registered as a Democrat or a Republican. And it's kind of hard to explain to them. No,
not in South Carolina.
Not in South Carolina. And so when it comes to primary time, they don't. Why are they asking me what political party am I voting for? And we have to explain. And I'll be honest. We don't have that many newspapers. We used to have a lot of small newspapers coming out of most towns. Everybody had a newspaper and that was the perfect way for people to understand. We don't have that anymore. And a lot of younger people particularly get all their information off of social media. And that's not always explained.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to show you that their election results are coming in. And this is really interesting as we have this conversation. This is being reported by WNBFnews.com. As we look at the numbers appear to be flowing in real time, and we're seeing and let's explain to people what we are showing them here. And I think this might even drive home some of the points that you all are making. I'm trying to increase the size of this so that we could see it a little better. So as we look at the election results, and I'm going to roll up, let's see more races. Let's say the governor GOP. So as everyone understands, GOP primary means the Republican primary for governor. And there are 5 candidates here. It just switched over to Democrat. But to your point, Ms. Shirley, it is we have 5 candidates. So obviously I won't say obviously, but there's the likelihood that there will be a runoff for this particular primary. And then for the Democratic primary, the results are coming in. Looks like Jermaine Johnson is ahead, Billy Webster second, and then Mullins McLeod. Of course, these numbers are coming in pretty quickly, and they're switching to different races as we look at this. Right. But what has happened through early voting and by 7 o'clock today, these are the results of early voting for the primaries, Democrat-Republican primaries. And a couple of weeks ago, we had Sandy Martin on a broadcast, and she was explaining that traditionally the primaries are called the Democrat and Republican primaries, but anybody can vote. But you just have to declare that you're voting Democrat or Republican because, that's how it's set up. So as we see, these primary numbers are coming in. And then what happens is the winners from the primary will move on to general election or possibly runoff if the runoff happens. And that, of course, it comes before the general election so that we can determine which candidates will actually go to the general election. There are a couple of other races that are being reported right now. Of course, U.S. House District 6, that's Jim Clyburn's district. It's showing that with 15% of the votes in, they're already declaring him the winner. Here's the summary of the GOP primary, Attorney General. And so you can go to WNBFnews.com and kind of see these results. They are coming in real time. But this is what happens when you vote in the primaries. You're determining who moves forward. And based on the information you all are seeing, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings about what you're seeing right now?
We kind of predicted those numbers would be close and neck. And let me say, we want to thank, when we talk about that 18 to 36, we had a lot of young people throughout this state and county that voted early. That redistricting battle pushed us up with connecting with young voters because they really understood what the gerrymandering and the removing of a congressman. And when you talked about removing Congressman Clyburn, that there would be no black representation in the U.S. Congress from South Carolina, that motivated not just our young blacks, but young people, period, across the county. But it was great to see the amount of, even in the barbershop, the amount of young black men, 18 to 36, that was engaged, that was talking at the barbershop, that wanted to know, that someone was studying up on it and everything. And these numbers tonight is an indicator. We can't wait for the breakdown to see that age groups of voting, but we know that a lot of people were driven and others to the polls because of what was happening with redistricting. And then seeing Jermaine Johnson, that was a young black male running for governor, was electrifying throughout the state, not just here in Horry County and everything. It was just, but to see here, even in Horry County, the older ethnic groups of other than black that was enthused by having a young black male running for governor and could very well pull this off tonight and everything to be on the ballot in November.
Well, we're seeing some very interesting numbers here. Again, there's only about between 13 and 15% reporting so far in the GOP primary. It's really interesting as we look at the number of voters. I'm looking at the GOP primary and how, those votes have been sliced and diced pretty much in comparison to the governor Democratic primary where Jermaine Johnson has almost 48,000 votes compared to, Pamela Abbott at 20,000 votes in the GOP primary. It's really interesting because, of course, this is how the mathematics plays out. When you have more candidates, the votes are split in a bigger way. Yes. And so, all of these races are reporting, including as we scroll down a little bit. And I just want to go to some that are actually pretty interesting. For example, Superintendent of Education, Sylvia Wright. She is leading Lisa Ellis with almost 53,000 votes. And, we roll on to the State House District 103. Carl Anderson is trailing Wendell Paget only by a couple of votes. So that's a pretty tight one right there. Brother Edward, I saw someone who's actually from Horry County, State House District 61, Pete Bember.
Yeah.
He grew up on Sugar Hill.
Yeah.
And,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really interesting as we go through, and we encourage people also to pull the election results and watch it as it's happening. We get excited about these kinds of things when they're happening in like the larger national elections, but we also need to pay attention to the numbers, just like we, in the local and state elections, just like we do with the national election. So that's good information. I hope that everyone will go and pull it up We did
Thank you for that, April. That was good analysis, and thank you for pulling that up.
Yeah, she did an outstanding job.
Yeah, outstanding.
Well,
Yeah.
I have some researchers working behind the scenes. I'm not doing this by myself. And so I thank those who are sending me text messages saying, hey, check this out, because that helps us, as we try to educate the public. It really does.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So, Brother Edward, I know that there were a couple of other questions that we had as far as talking points. So we talked about, talked about the early voting. The strong voter turnout is obvious here. We talked about the importance of Democrats voting in Democratic primaries, about voting in a runoff, who can vote. Ms. Shirley has explained that. Voter registration drives. I think you all touched upon that. You've given us information on how people can register to vote, and I'm going to put that back on the screen. Need to register to vote. Here are two places where you can go: scvotes.gov or orydemocrats.org. Next point: importance of precinct organization, community gatherings, or clubs, no matter how small. Tell us why that is essential at this point.
Most people think they have to go to a big club because they're going, or either they don't have transportation or they don't drive at night. My opinion is, if you can get together 5 people or 10 people together in your community or in your list of friends, you can make a difference, because one person can bring in 5 voters.
Yeah.
And if you take only 5 people, that's 25 people that you right there. You don't have to have a big group, and you don't have to do a whole bunch of activities, because if you get together with all the information that you can pull off of the internet or off of social media these days, you have everything that you need to know, even when we have EC meetings. You got this.
Explain to me.
Yeah, you're all talking and learning the same things that we are, and you don't have to have the chair or the state ECs or any of our officers to sit down with you to help you get people registered to vote, or to help people get to the polls, or find a way to make certain that everybody gets out to vote on voter day or on early voting. We've had people call today who didn't know where they were supposed to go for voting, because in the past they've always voted early voting, and they didn't understand that they had to go to where their precinct was voting today. But you can do that if you're in a group. You can call your friends that you've been meeting with and say, where are we supposed to go today? And that's one of the things about precinct organization that we no longer do as a county party. But if you were having democracy builders, or you're just meeting yourselves as a group, or you have friends within one of the clubs that meets, then you can call your friends and say, where do we go today to vote? Because I missed early voting. That's I call them gatherings. If you want to call your little group a club, that's fine. But that's how all politics is local, and it's local right down to the street you live on, or the community that you live in, or the family that you have as your village. That's what politics is. It's really not just about a political party. It's about how life is lived.
And when we have our meetings, our local ECs, they get information and they carry it back to their precinct and explain what the updates are. So we don't have the precincts like the organization like we had before, but you have a representative coming from those areas, and that person, after she or he gets the information, takes it back to that area and makes sure that each of the members within that knows what went on.
I want to touch base on, let's see, another point that we want to make sure we get across to everyone tonight. And we'll circle back on the get out to vote for the general election, but the order of political parties on general election ballots, including petition candidates. Talk a little bit about that.
Okay, I pulled that off of a state. It's called the Party Order on Ballots, and this is by state law. This is from the Board of Elections. The party order remains in effect for all elections held until the next general election, which is every 2 years. So this is called the 2024 general election party order, and it goes through this November the 9th. And this is how they will appear on the ballot in November. The Constitution, United Citizens, the Forward Party, which was formerly the Independence Party, the Green Party, the Republican Party, the Alliance Party, the Libertarian Party, the Petition. Petition is where all of those candidates who may not have gotten filed or what a problem happened with their filing. This is where if they can present a petition with no more than, is it 10,000 votes? 10,000 votes, that will get them on the ballot. That's where their names will appear. Democratic Party, and in this year in November, the last one is the Workers' Party, which was previously the Labor Party, which means in 2 years, the Workers' Party will be the first one on the order. And it's kind of important because if you have people who may have been Republican or Democrat or thought they were going to file for another party, but they didn't get on the ballot, and they can get the 10,000 signatures they need to in a petition, they will appear in that petition category, not for whatever party they may want to be in or thought they were going to be in or people think they're going to be in, but they will be as a petition candidate. And that becomes important because if you do have somebody who's a petition candidate and people are strongly supporting them, they need to know where to find their candidate.
There's a question, and in the excitement of looking at the results, if we can circle back on this today. Well, it was actually a statement. People didn't understand why they were being asked which party they were voting for today. Can you explain that for us, please?
Go ahead.
Well, that Shirley just alluded to that earlier. In South Carolina, you do not register by political party. People think when they go to DMV here that when they register, they are registered by political party. You don't. The only determination is when you go to a primary. In a primary, you have to declare which party you want to vote in because you can only vote in one political party's primary. And again, if you vote in that party's primary, you can only vote in that party's runoff election. So in South Carolina, we do not register political parties. A lot of people think so. So when you go in to vote, until we can get that change in the state legislature, where you can just sign in yourself and mark that on the machine yourself, when you go to vote, whether early voting or in person like today, the poll worker going to ask you what political party you voted in because they want to make sure they give you the access to the ballot of your choice. Some people think it's personal. No one should have to ask them that. But because there's no other way, they have no other format of doing it, you then have to declare which party you want to vote in.
Most people don't understand whenever you tell them I want to vote in the Democratic Party platform, they've got to push the button or flip the switch or whatever it is on that
now
sheet.
They give you the ballot sheet.
Now they give you the ballot sheet. So they don't understand that process. This may be the first or the second time they've ever voted in South Carolina, so they haven't quite gotten accustomed to that little procedure.
And a lot of people, we notice a lot of people we have to do a better job with us with getting the word out. A lot of people didn't understand because they think they got November mixed up with June. So they're like, why are they asking me? I got a lot of calls. Why are they asking me what way I want to vote? Oh, it's the June primary. They have to ask you in June. November, they're not supposed to ask you what way you vote in November. They just give you a ballot and you can split tickets, vote a straight ticket or whatever.
And then some people come from their states where they have to declare, and they come to Horry County assuming it's the same, and that's the difference.
Yeah, that's
Open
interesting.
primaries. We have open primaries, they call it.
Yeah.
Open primaries.
Yes.
Well, you got to find a way to, because it could be to your advantage. You got to find a better way of getting that kind of communication straightened out there. Okay, I think, and that could be a winning point if you can get them to understand that You know,
Yeah.
No, you're right. The party itself, because it's so easy to get in a lawsuit with these candidates in a primary, because you see this stuff going on in the media today that some candidates feel that the party favored them, but the Horry County Democratic Party do what we do on the state level. We do not take a position because we do not endorse candidates in a primary, because that could easily turn people away, but we can do a better job with messaging and informing the people and doing more ads. Although we have a website, we've been running things on our social media, but when it comes down to the media part, which is very expensive, and y'all know the deal about media, to buy ads is very expensive, and billboards, but we can see, as what you said, Brother McQueen, we have to do a better job, and it takes finances to do that, to get in the media and to get the billboards to really educate our people, because we saw it even all day today. People were very confused, and it's like, oh my God, where did we go wrong? But you mentioned it here tonight. It's about getting the word out and educating the voters about the process.
And that's one of the things Shirley and I talked about earlier, is after this is doing some education with our members. We have to educate our members.
And let me say, we sent out about almost 600 emails to organizations, whether it be the primary organizations, the Baptist, Methodist, whether it be Muslims, anyone that have our email address or we have theirs, we send it out. A lot of times it end up in spam. And then a lot of times, like all this week, for the last few weeks, people from whether it be a temple, synagogue, regular church, or non-believers in organized religion, they get emails, it go to spam, and then sometimes they do not share it with their parishioners, their members, the people of their mosques, their temples, or whatever. The emails are going out. The communication went out from the party, and come to find out, it was not disseminated for some to their members, to their organizations, whether it be the Divine Nine and other places. A lot of them get the information, but Brother McQueen, Sister April, we have found out even in the last few weeks, they are not disseminating the information that we are sending out.
So now, that's a problem. Now, let me just jump ahead of this a little bit, and then we don't have a whole lot of time here, but just let me jump ahead. Do you all have any safeguards towards voter intimidation, or do you expect any?
We experienced it today. People receive robocalls telling them to go vote in other party primaries because of redistricting. If they wanted to save redistricting, we got calls where people did that we saw that these past 2 weeks, a lot of voter intimidation. And the only way we can counter that is doing social media ads, getting on the radio and platforms like yours, the opportunity to come on just to tell people, be careful of robocalls. Be careful who they're listening to when it comes to all of the messaging and everything. And I'll say what a young person said today. They said, Mr. Cedric, there's no excuse. People, and Sister April said earlier, people do what they want to do. They order off of Amazon, they go online. She said, I went on y'all website and found information. Y'all had all the candidates out there. And she said, I'm not going with it. She said, because people do what they want to do. And we understand that. I know we can do a better job, but the information is there. But there's a lot of voter intimidation, and it happened right here in Horry County. Now, with the calls from Horry County, we haven't got the word yet, because our voter protection line goes into Columbia to the South Carolina Democratic Party, and we'll get that information. But we just encourage platforms like this, organizations that know that receive our information, disseminate the information so people can have the right information. And we got a call. A lady was here in the office earlier today. She received a Republican ballot and didn't tell the people she didn't want to vote Republican. She said she just went on and voted the best way she could because she was scared to ask the lady for a new ballot.
And we would like to say also, in the November election, we do have attorneys that help us with any intimidation.
And we need more. So if you're an attorney in Horry County, listen at this, or anywhere, we need election protection attorneys. You don't have to be skilled in Democratic Party. They would carry you through a class.
That's
we
right.
just need attorneys, bona fide attorneys on board.
Wow. Well, I think you addressed the issue quite well on the intimidation, possible intimidation. And I did ask that because during the last election, someone said that I think it may have been someone from the Democratic Party that you had actual not physical intimidation, but people who were talking physically, and you can perceive it as a threat or whatever, but it was definitely intimidating. So I just wanted to know if that you expect the same thing now, and
Thank you.
you know, what kind of strategy you had.
It'll be worse as we go into November. But that's why we encourage at every round table or anything we're doing, and even here tonight, we need people from the community that will be paid poll workers, that would be the eyes and the ears in the building and everything. Because what we see in a lot of the transplants, even today, they're working the polls. And the voter intimidation come when people go to sign in, and like even that's why people felt afraid to say whether they're Democrat or Republican. People were given the wrong ballot, but they were too intimidated to say, this is not my ballot. And we tell them, you can spoil that ballot up to 3 times and vote again, but they didn't do it. So that's why it's important that people from the community, people from each precinct, like it used to be with ours, Miss Odine Oliver and all of those like Edna Mae Bellamy who work Jamestown. And you tell the election workers, no, this is my precinct. I want to be stationed at my precinct, because you know the people from your precinct. We will have less voter intimidation if people from our communities and our precincts would go be paid poll workers and work the precincts. Because when people try it, you got people like, no, I know them. No, stop. No, come on here, honey, and sign in and vote and all this kind of stuff. There would be some safeguards and accountability. But right now, throughout the day, we saw a lot of people that wasn't even from certain precincts working the precincts. They live in other parts of Myrtle Beach of the county, but they're there, and they're there because they're on an assignment. I yield back. My apologies.
All right, we're by that.
Well, we're never surprised. Cedric always says a mouthful, and I'm telling you, it's always disheartening when you hear about voter suppression or voter intimidation. It just shows you how low people will stoop to even diminish the rights that people have, and so and unfortunately, and I don't know what age this person was, Cedric. I can only imagine it was probably some senior who, that intimidation actually runs deeper than just, I don't know about voting. That is generational trauma and things that will keep that person in fear of really speaking out for themselves. And when I talk about generational trauma, I'm talking about, everything that goes all the way back to Jim Crow. So, we've got to do a better job. Reggie Dyson, thank you for watching tonight. Poor job in awareness. Whatever we have to do, whether it's through Horry County Democratic Party or grassroots efforts, like Ms. Shirley said, get your family together. You have a family reunion, get together and talk about what your civic duty is. Make sure everybody's registered to vote. There are lots of things that are going on around the county and the state to get people ignited about voting, meeting people where they are. I'm going to put up as an example one thing that is happening. And this particular type of event, Juneteenth boots. Juneteenth and boots. Okay, events like this where people are gathering all the time, and that is an opportunity to actually be positioned to make sure that everybody is getting some kind of voter registration information or what have you. So we've got a ton of Juneteenth events that are going on, starting, of course, early next week. And those are definitely opportunities to get the word out, to get the messaging out. I'm going to show a few later on as part of our announcements. But I tell you, you all have dropped a wealth of information about the process, about the importance of organizing and understanding your constituents, the importance of being able to attract young voters and even identifying the gaps and what needs to be done to get young voters, as you define, 18 to 36, ready to vote, out to vote, register, show up, vote, register, show up, vote, basically. So, Brother Edward, do you have anything else you would like to ask this awesome group that's working hard? We thank them for coming on. And again, WCM Live is nonpartisan. If any other group wants to come on and talk,
absolutely, we're welcome.
We welcome it. We welcome it, because you know what? We need to hear from everybody. And so, as Tim McCray, thank you for watching. He says, rock the vote. Yes, rock the vote. Anything else you want to ask before we say goodnight to everybody?
I'm just it's good to see the Democratic Party and both parties. There were it's just a lot of excitement about voting in general now that's going on, and Republicans and the Democrats, and that's good to see. Okay, it's good to see us being active and making decisions on things that informed decisions at that, on things that are going to impact our lives, and I'm just so glad to see that happening. I noticed in the newspaper that the Republicans had a stump not too long ago at the peanut, what do you call it, the peanut warehouse, and they seem to have had a good time, and had a number of candidates there. Turnout was good. So just good to see people involved. Okay, on both parties.
But thank you for this opportunity.
And thank you for being so informative. We enjoyed this talk. We really did. It's family talk, and it's talk where you understand what you are asking us. Because sometimes people just ask questions that didn't have any relevancy on what is going on. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, it took you all to really explain and make some clarity to all of that. And I'm sure they appreciated that. We can appreciate everything, Ms. Doris, except that hat. I'm not the hat. I mean, appreciate. We just don't know where it came from. But we'll talk at another time.
Alabama. My sister sent it to me from Alabama. Dothan, Alabama.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all. Do you have any parting words? Anything you want to say? I know Cedric has the last word. Come on, Cedric.
Thank you. You're going to hear more about us. We had a stump in Bucksport on May the 11th that kicked it off for the year. There are going to be more stump meetings around the county and Democratic gatherings as we go into the fall of the year. And a lot of times candidates are coming through. You may not have a 2-week or 24-hour notice because of security reasons. You just talk about voter intimidation with a lot of death threats our candidates have received. They do not give the location until about 24 hours out or less. You just have to sign up. We encourage you to RSVP for events, because that's the only way most times you're going to know where the event is being hosted and everything, unless it's a general event. But we're looking for you to come out, and I'll tell you, like I told one of my grandnephews, you can bless around here with the orange aid if you wanna. You're gonna miss your ride. He lost his job on the truck because he voted for the orange man. And he don't miss your ride playing around on the other side of the road in the ticket.
Well, Cedric, thank you so much for that clarity on the reasons why you have to get information from just a day before like that. For example, the stuff that was happening in Bucksport, because people got the perception, and on our end, I think we kind of got the same thing. Why it was sent out so late, but now the clarity was good, and it's because of security reasons. And I think that's well said. I think you explained it well. Thank you for that clarity.
So please, we'll let you know, your show and others. We'll let you know when things are happening, but they're gonna have to RSVP in order to get the location, because candidates will not allow us to release that most time until 24 hours now before the event.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I know you like my hat.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, listeners.
You know that too, yeah, right?
We at 311 Baby Street, so stop by.
And thanks for communicating with the chairperson, Ms. Vaught and Shirley. There was we had good communication together, and it was good coordinating this. We appreciate that.
We need volunteers. Volunteers, please. Come on.
Hey, Beverly Mitchell, she's still watching. Early on, she said she wants to volunteer. Can you?
Call 843-488-4237.
Wait a minute, hold on, slow that down. Let me make a banner for that. 843. Go ahead. 427.
Thank you so much.
Bye now.
What was the number, Cedric?
843-488-8CDP, which is 4237.
Grace.
All right, if you want to volunteer.
She's already volunteered, Timothy McCrae. So.
All right, yeah. Hey, Tim is one of our own, so tell Tim, he wanted to.
Thank y'all so much. Thank you.
All right. So I tell you, Brother Edward, Ms. Doris, Larry White says, hey. All right. We thank you all so much and continue to do the good work. And again, anytime we'll have you back. And I think I want to just one more time, Brother Edward, before they roll out. They might appreciate this as well as everyone else. I've been asked to share the link, and I have shared the link so that everybody can see. But let's take a look at these poll results before the three of them leave.
Thank you.
So, yes, ma'am. So let's see. We still have, I tell you, Jermaine is knocking it out the box with the Democratic primary here. And then for the GOP, Ms. Evett is still ahead, but Alan Wilson is right on her heels. Let's go through the other races. And I'm just going to scroll through quickly, but you can go to the WNBF news site. I put the link in the chat. Stephen Goldfinch is coming out on top for Attorney General in the GOP primary. And again, scroll through, you can see every race. What happens in the, okay, I see that some of the districts are reporting, because a few minutes ago, District 60, they didn't have any votes reported, but now I see some votes coming in for that one. And there was another district that wasn't reporting, but some of them are well underway with an over 50% reported, and some are still kind of staggering in. So Sylvia Wright is still in the lead for Superintendent of Education, well ahead of Lisa Ellis. Looks like they've kind of declared Tiffany Boozer for Comptroller General. And so, yeah, just go and okay, so the District 103 has flipped, and now Carl Anderson is in the lead for District 103 State House. So, yeah, this is exciting. This is always exciting for any election.
Here's 61 again. What's going on with Pete Bember?
Let's see, with Pete Bember, let me go back to Pete. He's at 34% with Carol Goodman at 65%, and 68% of the votes estimated in already. So,
yeah.
April, do we expect a runoff at the governors? That they were kind of close.
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. What do you all think will happen with this governor's race?
They're predicting there's going to be a runoff between Webster and Johnson.
Right.
That's predicted, and then possibly Annie Andrews. But then we know both of the governor's race, but there could be where the district, because there are 2,315 precincts in South Carolina, 124 right here in Horry County. Most time, our way out precincts, like you take Port Harrison, the Bucksport area, Atlantic Beach, and those areas, Little River, are like the last ones to come in, and those are pivotal precincts in our county. Horry County alone is a pivotal county that would turn any election. That 40,000 voters and more that's coming in tonight, people can say what you want about the Republican, people moving in, going Republican. We still are the #1 county that can turn any statewide election. So by the end of the night, sometimes we're in there to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, getting those last turns coming, unless a large precinct get in early, they will have those numbers. But right now, I guess for a lot of them, it's too early to call because we, with all the precincts not reported. I think it's only around about 30 or 40 some precincts have reported across the state, if I'm not understanding it.
So, Cedric, with this, the Democratic primary for governor, it says that votes in estimated 46.7% of the votes are in, with Jermaine Johnson at 114,974 votes, or 58.4% of the votes, to Billy Webster's 30.9%. When does it get out of the range of too close to call? Like, when can you say yes? For example, Jermaine Johnson is the Democratic primary winner. Is there a certain percentage that's a threshold?
No, the percentage, but then again, it's what precincts are reporting.
Okay.
The bigger precincts, like when you take counties like Richland County, Horry County, Charleston County, Greenville, Spartanburg, those, and Marion. Now, see, Marion is a 70-some% Democrat. So if those votes haven't gotten in yet, that would be a factor to say we can't call it because we don't have Marion, because that's predominantly black and predominantly Democratic voting precinct. If Marion is in and he's up to 70-some% almost, where you say 58%, 58%, it's still probably too close to call, because if Spartanburg is not in Greenville area where Billy Webster is from, it's still the numbers to come in, because those precincts could top it where it knocked him right back down.
Okay. All right. That's very interesting. Yeah, y'all keep it up. Keep it on your phones or somewhere where you can watch the results come in, because this is definitely exciting. It really is exciting. So thank you all. We really do appreciate it.
If you had said 60%, 70% of the precincts reporting, then that would they got projected winners. But we don't even have 50%. I don't think we're up there yet of the precincts reporting. So it's too early to call. The reason why they called Tiffany Boozer, because that means they got some hard numbers in from other precincts that determine she is the projected winner based upon early voting numbers also. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that education as well. So, Priscilla Fuller asked early on, what is at stake for the community? And I know that's a broad, sweeping question. But if we should see that there's like a tremendous flip in the primary to some votes that will, I guess, sway this election in a way that a lot of Democrats fear, what's at stake in the community? It looks like Cedric wants to answer that question.
Yeah, because I want to say what I said at a panel last week with the Conway branch of the NAACP speaking to clergy. I told them, regardless of who win in the primary, we need to come together. We need to unite and go in November, because I said to the pastors, y'all living in gated communities, y'all driving fancy cars, but if your members continue to lose income, you will not get paid. You're not going to be pastoring these churches, and you're not going to have any money. So what's the deciding factor? They're not going to have any money. They're not going to have nobody paying tithes and offering. They're going to lose those salaries. They're going to be not living in gated communities. So what's on the ballot? Everything on our life is on this ballot coming in November. And if we don't get out and vote, everything, I just told you, my grandnephew missed his ride on the truck. We ain't gonna have no truck to ride in. All it's gonna be on the back of somebody's flatbed trying to get around Horry County. So everything in our life, and when people think everything on the ballot deals with your life, and those legislators up there in Columbia or Washington, everything is on the ballot. And if these pastors don't get motivated and be concerned about their parishioners, these imams, rabbis, when your members lose money, you ain't gonna be in these churches. Y'all gonna be back in somebody's pack house with tobacco trying to have church, because you ain't gonna have no money.
Well, on that note,
wait a minute, Brother L. I have to say, there is a huge amen corner.
No, we tired of it. We tired of these leaders, whether it be community leaders or anybody, not helping one another. Because if your people don't have money, you're not going to be in these fancy churches.
Well, that's true. That's true.
People are suffering, and you ought to be tired of your members suffering and get involved. And you don't have to tell them which way to vote. But everything is right. We saw what happened with redistricting when Shane Massey said he didn't want a black man to be Speaker of the U.S. Congress. he wasn't going, and he didn't want it, but he was not willing to sacrifice having to lose 3 to 4 seats here in South Carolina. So they see what has happened. You can grin in people's face if you want to. My grandmama say, play with a puppy, it'll lick you in your face. These people don't want black folks in leadership. And we got pastors, we got leaders in the community that won't stand up because they done got their pockets greased and they're worrying about 2 issues. This is not the thoughts and opinions of the Democratic Party nor the World Community Magazine. I'm telling you what I'm living. People sitting up here, they putting their money in these churches, but the churches is not thinking about the interests of the people. It's more than building a dynasty and having a nice building. Are you going to take these people in? They don't even let the homeless people sleep in the church. So they got these fancy buildings, but they're not doing anything with it. And people hungry, people tired, and all of us are tired of the foolishness. People need to get out and vote. Everything is on the ballot.
And we excited.
Yes.
What, April? Do you think it was? I think it was worth it. We went over time, maybe a half hour, but it was worth it, huh?
It was absolutely. I have enjoyed this tremendously. Listen, Miss Beverly said, "I'm with you when you're right." I know that's right. Tell the truth. Okay, brother. Listen, Cedric, you got the amen corner fired up.
It's all about the people.
When they want.
I tell you what. Well, this has been incredible. I put up a website if you're concerned about election protection. Again, like I said, I have my researchers in the back. They're sending me information. If you're concerned about election protections, you can go to 866ourvote.org, and there's plenty of information on there. Everything you need to know. This is amazing. Thank you so much. This was a wonderful conversation tonight, Brother Edward.
Great conversation.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you all, and y'all be safe.
Thank you.
Godspeed.
So, Brother Edward, I tell you, this was great. Tremendous information. And I just want to share a graphic. Rise and roll to the polls. This is courtesy of the Myrtle Beach branch of the NAACP. 5568, rise and roll to the polls. That's what everybody needs to do. They've done it for the primaries. It's time to get ready for the general election. This is midterms, and this is where the rubber meets the road. This is it, Brother Edward.
I think Tiffany sent that. But look, let's congratulate.
It's on her Facebook page. Mm-hmm.
Let's congratulate Tiffany. Whenever she has a meeting over there, it's well attended. For the NAACP, I just got one part of that.
Yeah, we're gonna have her back real soon to talk about some exciting developments that are happening all across Horry County, including with the Conway branch of the NAACP. So we definitely will have her on. And Brother, I just want to share before we go some things that everyone needs to know. Juneteenth is right around the corner, and we have been asking people for the past, ever since June rolled in, to share with us information about Juneteenth celebrations. Before we get into those Juneteenth celebrations, I do want to make an announcement about our WCEM Summer Programs Kickoff event, which is Saturday, June 20th. And we want to announce that the Reading Roots program is officially at capacity. So I believe that it was at capacity maybe almost 2 weeks ago now when we first announced the summer programs at our, back for this year. So the Reading Roots program is at capacity, and for the Youth Summer Jobs program, the employability course, we have literally less than 5 seats left. So we have about 3 or 4, and we may not even have that. But that was since earlier today, just checking. And so if you have a young person aged 14 to 18 in high school who could use some employability training, we have a virtual component as well as an on-site, or we'll have on-site career exploration activities and experiences for these young people. And they're getting paid to be in this course. They're getting paid. They will get a monetary reward in August when we do our closing event. But it's not too late to sign them up. Again, it's first come, first serve. We have about 4 or 5 slots left. So let's go ahead and fill up that summer jobs program. These young people are going to be learning some amazing things, everything from financial literacy to,
legal
time management,
legal matters.
Yeah, all of the things, you know, they have to do with not only career skills, but life skills. We're kind of putting it all into one nice little bundle. And then we're going to set them up with some career activities that match their career aspirations. So young people ages 14 to 18 are eligible to participate. If you have a young person who needs a little something to do for 6 weeks, go ahead and sign them up. Sign them up for this program. Brother Edward, go ahead. You got something to say?
Yeah, April. I want to take this opportunity to express appreciation to all the donors so far who have given and to assist us this year, and really appreciated with all of our hearts that they took the liberty to do this and send in their donations. We still need the donations, but the ones who've done it so far, we are certainly glad and grateful. So thank you so much. And those who are just about to put the letter in the mailbox with their donation, thank you ahead of time. I really appreciate it. Yeah, really.
Yeah, and let's share some information about that. If you want to be a donor, this is a great way to support young people this summer, especially through this grassroots program. This is a education component that was started. Brother Edward, when's the first time you launched the summer jobs? You and Sister Joella?
2017. We started off with 2 students.
With 2 students in 2017. 2 students in 2017. And so,
it went as high as 75, April.
You've gone as high as 70. I don't know how you manage that. I have absolutely no idea how you manage that.
What we had could help.
You did. But we felt that it was necessary to refine the program so that it definitely was more substantive for the students, so that they were learning something before they actually go to a job experience. And not that they weren't learning things all before, but sometimes you have to prep them before they go. You have to coach them before they go out into the workforce. And so that's what we're doing with this particular program, which we launched last summer as a new concept for the summer job. So we have 20 students maximum. That's a great number considering we have a virtual component. And the students will get a nice little check in August if they complete the program successfully. So, you're learning and you're earning. What better way to make a little money over the summer, right? To help you with school clothes and whatever school supplies you need. This is a great way for teens to feel a semblance of independence. They can go out and purchase whatever they need for school and help their parents out. So if you're interested, go to our website, which is wcmagazine.net. There is let me see if I have a banner for it. There is a registration form on that website. I'm going to put this one up, even though summer literacy is closed. But if you go to wcmagazine.net, you'll see in the menu the summer programs. Click on the summer jobs tab and complete that form. And we are closing the registrations for this program this Friday. So if I don't have the registration by Friday, you'll have to wait until next year. But we are excited about the students that we have signed up so far. And Brother Edward, the career fields are everything from mechanical engineering to culinary. So it looks great.
Well, they're going to have a ball. They're going to have a ball.
They really are going to have a ball.
Earning money at the same time.
That's right.
I didn't have that when I was growing up.
That's right. So I want to make mention of a couple of Juneteenth celebrations that we know of. Let's see. We have the Juneteenth and Boots that is happening at Big Red Field in Tabor City, and gates are open at 4 p.m. We're trying to gather all of this information about the Juneteenth celebrations, and we really want people to send us the information. We talk all the time about trying to put together community calendars and everything. And so if you have announcements, please let us know. Also, celebrate Juneteenth in Conway at Smith Jones Park. Brother Edward, did you know that something's going on at Smith Jones?
Yeah.
From 2 to 7 p.m. on Friday, June 19th. Sponsored by the Conway-Horry County MLK Junior Committee. There's a basketball tournament going on. Youth and teen divisions compete, build skills, and have fun. And so you must sign a waiver in order to play. If you are interested, you can contact Ms. Ashley Livingston. Her phone number is 843-246-8818. and let her know that you're interested. Of course, all of this information is also posted on the network. So if you're a member of the network, you can get this information, and we'll also post it on the World Community Magazine's Facebook page.
Okay.
Okay.
On the 20th, which is next Saturday, I believe is the 20th, I believe, but we're going to post it early. Somebody is turning 97 years old, April.
Yes, we'll talk about that in a moment. Let me get through the Juneteenth. Yeah, let me get through the Juneteenth, and then we'll talk about that. So the city of Myrtle Beach, and I think Neighborhood Services is hosting this, or is the coordinator of this Juneteenth celebration. Juneteenth homecoming with 100 Grand Band, Painted Man, Conway High, Drumline, and this is Saturday, June 20th, from 2 to 7 at Charlie's Place. All are welcome. If you are interested in getting vendor space, you can contact April Johnson, and her number is right here on the flyer, 843-918-1061. And the last one that I have to show for tonight is St. Paul AME Church in Little River. Is having a Juneteenth Freedom Day on Friday, June 19th. Oh, seafood gumbo dinner at 5 p.m. Service from 5:45 to 7:30. You can check out the St. Paul Facebook page or their YouTube channel for more information, and all are welcome to this event as well. So, brother, there's a lot going on around Juneteenth. There really is.
Wow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad to know that people are tuning in to and requesting us to do these kind of things, because we're community broadcasting, and it's our pleasure to do so. Make sure that one of the things that we have to address, and we're going to get to that another time, that is conflicting events that are happening, and we're going to develop a good calendar. And we talked about that before, but we'll elaborate a little bit more on that again at another time.
Yeah, another time, yes.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Monet, thank you for letting us know that the Conway Juneteenth celebration is going to have a voters registration table. That's awesome. That's the one that's going to be at Smith Jones. So, awesome.
Miss Bassant, she's so informational. If I use for lack of a better word. Thank you for Miss Bassant.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, Brother Edward, you mentioned that someone is celebrating a birthday coming soon.
I think it's going to be this Saturday, I believe. I was trying to find all the information on it, but on the 20th, I'm sorry, the 20th. Mm-hmm. And none other than Reverend Dr. Lonnie Chestnut, 97 years old. Okay. He's been my role model for a long time. I always say, if I get 97, I'm saying when I get to be 97, I want to have his faculties and his knowledge
and his style, his swagger, his style. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it starts at 11 o'clock, my understanding, on the 20th. That's on a Saturday. Mm-hmm. And they're going to at 10:45. They're going to start lining up at the Army National Guard, I believe. That's the way it goes. But you can go online and to Miss Edie, Miss Bonnie Edie's Facebook. You can see all the details on it. Okay.
Now Bonnie does not have a Facebook page. She has a personal page, Brother Edward.
Okay, personal page. That's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to hear from her. Watch.
You sure will. Exactly. But yeah. First of all, we want to thank everybody for your engagement and participation in this conversation tonight. The engagement and participation is what makes this program so successful in terms of the outreach. If you are engaged and participating, then that means we're doing something right. And so please continue to share the information even after the broadcast is over. Of course, this broadcast will be available on the WCMmagazine.net website for the next week. We always switch it out the day before our next guest. So you can pass it on and make sure people are watching. But we really couldn't do this without you. We do appreciate all of the encouragement, the comments, the questions, the engagement. If you keep doing that, then we'll keep doing what we're doing. So thank you very much. And again, if you are interested in donating to the WCM Summer Jobs Program, you can contact us and we'll send you more information. And you can sponsor a student. There's certain sponsorship levels. If there's any premium levels available, you can actually have your name or your business name displayed on the back of the T-shirt that the students are given. And they usually wear the T-shirts whenever they're ready to go out for their career exploration visits. And so get in touch with Brother Edward, drop us a line at the World Community Magazine inbox or my inbox, and I'll get the information to Brother Edward. But we certainly do appreciate any donations you can give towards the program. No donation is too small. $5 is $5 more than we had. So, and we're helping the student. This is all going to the students.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, April, for that information.
Yeah.
As we speak, I'm getting texts about somebody wants to register. So
Go to the website. I'll let you go to the website.
To the website. Yeah.
Go to the website.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Brother Edward. We appreciate it. And thank you to
Thank you for putting that information on the voter. That's really, I'm really impressed with that. Keeping up with those with the voting, what's happening.
I want to thank.
I'm sure most people appreciate that. Okay.
Yes. I want to thank my one of my researchers, for sending me that link. Really appreciate it. Yeah, if you send me the information, I'll get it up as quickly as possible. So that was really exciting to see. Yeah, I'm gonna be watching it for the rest of the evening. But thank you, everybody.
Only on WCM Live.
Hey, we're grassroots. There's nothing fancy about us. We're just two people trying to educate the community. That's it.
That's all we're trying to do.
That's all we're trying to do. That is
okay.
It. All right. Well, everybody take care. Have a good night. Stay safe. And we'll see you again. Thank you, Tim McCray. We appreciate you. We'll see you again next week. Godspeed.
Next week.
Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook.